Again, today we're focusing on listings. Guys, if you can get listings, you can get buyers. If you can get listings, you can control the mind share of your market. That's why at Curaytor, we obsess over listings. Buyers come after the fact. So let's get into the first strategy here. Now, I want you to imagine for a moment you have someone in your database that you haven't followed up with in a long time. How are you supposed to ask that person to send you business? How are you supposed to ask that person to, check back in with you to see if they want to list their home? It's been 24 months since you followed up since the transaction. We work with over almost 1,000 clients across the country, and this is one of the things I find to be almost always the case, is that every client we work with has their VIPs, the people that they absolutely love, they have a great relationship with, and those individuals, they do a pretty good job nurturing those relationships. But it's that other 80% of individuals in their network that they kind of have lost touch with. And there's a bit of shame that exists in the process because now, it's been like 12 months since I reached out. What am I supposed to say to you? So this script that I'm giving you right now is an email campaign that you can send to one of your past clients or a group of your past clients that you've been neglecting. And this is going to be sort of a gap wedge. It's a way for us to connect with the person so we then can ask the question we really want to ask, which is, do you plan on actually selling your home? So we have to sort of soften them up. We have to sort of reestablish that relationship. So what I'm doing in this email, the first thing is the subject line, it's been too long. This is critical, guys. When you think about writing great subject lines, just a quick pro tip here, the amount of words you have to be very thoughtful and careful and considerate when you add any words to the subject line because you have to understand people are skimming these emails. And if it's a long subject line that drags on, that doesn't immediately pull me in, then you're going to get ignored. So it's been too long. It's going to spark curiosity. Then we get into this example of storytelling. And what I'm really trying to communicate, my outcome of this message is to sort of reconnect with my customer. Okay. So I'm basically going to say, hey, listen, I work with a client recently who recently referred business to me, and the referral that they sent over actually hired another agent. And before that, they hired me. They actually were unable to sell their home. We had to go through the process of kind of clean the house up, and then we were able to actually successfully sell the home. I just wanted to remind you that I take care of my clients and their friends. Now, it's been a little while since I reached out, so I just felt it would be a good time to let you know that I'm here, whatever you need, whenever you need it, for you and your friends. Okay, so wrap your head around this for a minute, okay? The first thing I'm doing, pay very close attention to what I'm saying. The first thing I'm doing is I'm communicating to the client that other people in my network are referring business to you. In this case, what we're doing is we're sort of showing people, not by basically saying, can you send me some referrals? Oh, by the way, I'm never too busy for referrals. We're saying, hey, there are other people doing this thing that you're not doing. And that's going to create sort of this curiosity and this sort of acceptance, that this kind of crowd mentality, if you think that groupthink mentality, that they're going to say, oh, okay, this is something that people do. The second thing that we're doing here is we're using storytelling. Stories are 22 times more memorable than facts, period. So rather than just simply say, we sell houses quickly above asking price in fewer days on market than their competitors, I'm using an example of a story that has been created by a successful transaction with a client. Every single person here that's watching right now live, guys, you guys have examples of clients you have been referred from, or people have referred them to you, that you've done an amazing job, and you can leverage that into getting your clients who you haven't been in touch with to re-engage with you. And the last thing I'm doing here is I'm pointing out the fact that at the end of this email, I want to express the fact that I am here for whatever you need whenever you need it. And I'm trying to express to them very clearly that I'm going to be here when you need me, not when I want you. Not when I just want business from you, it's when you need me, okay? So this is the first email you're going to send to re-engage your past clients that you've been neglecting. The second email, and this one's critical. This one, I would want you guys, I want you to send all these emails as soon as we're over, but I want you to space them out because it's unlikely you're going to be able to use every one of these campaigns immediately. The second email is, this is the what's your plan email. Okay, go back to that number. 87% of people say that they would do business with you again. Only 17% do. Okay, if you're inviting them to your gatherings and your events, and you're dropping off pies, you're building up your likability, which is important. but you actually haven't established relevancy, which is what they care about. Remember, what are the 4 most important words in marketing? The best for me. So what we're doing with this campaign is we're asking a very simple question. Again, what you guys are going to find, these repetitive trends in the way that we write copy at Curaytor, is we're very direct. We don't really bounce around. So we're saying, what's your plan? It's that time of the year where all of my clients are planning out their real estate goals for 2019. So again, what am I doing here? I'm inserting this sort of event in the consumer's mind where I'm saying, hey, everyone else is already thinking about this and you haven't thought about it. So that's already kind of putting them in a position where they feel like they're missing out on something. That's using fear of missing out, FOMO. And then I'm asking a very direct question, which best describes your situation? There's actually there we go, cool. Number 1, I have no plans. So I'm giving them an out, right? I have no plans. Number 2, I'm curious how much my home is worth now. Number 3, I'm planning on making home improvements. Number 4, I'm considering buying an investment property. And then I go into the transition call to action here, which is let me know ASAP because I can prepare some really useful information that you will find incredibly helpful. Now notice I'm not dragging this email on to be 6,000 words. People skim, they don't read. Additionally, I'm using FOMO to sort of say, everyone's doing this, you're not doing this. It sort of inserts that moment in their mind. We're like, wait, I should be thinking about this because I haven't been thinking about it. The third thing it does is I'm actually giving people clear options. I think one of the most important marketing strategies you guys can use is ask questions that are easy to answer. A lot of times I read these real estate emails and I'm confused exactly what they want me to do, exactly what they want me to do next, how I can get in touch. We're not trying to ask our prospects and our leads what the meaning of life is. Tell me which bucket you fall into. And there might be another bucket here that I'm not including, but you get the point. Are you a number 1? Are you a number 2? Are you number 3? Are you number 4? Make it easy for them to make a decision on exactly which one they're actually thinking about so you can then provide value and stay relevant. Okay? Then, yeah, I love Christopher Freres said this earlier. Hopefully I pronounced your name right, Christopher. You came across my mind this morning. I love that line. That's like, hey, I've been thinking about you. You've come across my mind. It's that time of year where my clients are planning out their real estate goals, and then we move into the transitioning segment. So absolutely make it your own. I love it. This is an email you need to be sending once every year, maybe once every 6 months to the people within your database. This is an email you need to be sending once every year, maybe once every 6 months to the people within your database. Now, you're going to get a handful of replies. You're going to get a handful of listings. But then you're going to get people who totally ignore you. So this is the next email I want you to send after this. Okay? And now we call this at Curaytor the double dip. This is when you send an email out to a group of individuals, in this case your past clients, and then you double dip with another email to only the people who opened up that email. So here's what I'm doing here. I'm using one more thing. So a quick pro tip here. We have a lot to get through today, but I hope you guys are getting value out of what we're covering. I write emails and we coach our clients to write emails that are in a conversational tone. Too often, people kind of put their corporate hat on and they write in a way in which consumers or you don't really talk. So when you see me write a subject line like one more thing, it's as if I'm sitting here with John saying, hey, John, one more thing. I have a quick question for you about this particular, that's how I talk. So that's how I write. And that type of conversational tone is really essential to making a connection for the person who feels like you're actually writing the email directly to them, even though you might be sending it to a few hundred people. So one more thing. Hey, John, last week I emailed you about your 2019 plans, but I forgot to mention one thing. Home values in our area have increased by an average of 3%, 7%, 10% over the last 12 months. I'm going to put together an updated home value report for you that includes all the recently sold homes nearby with insight on how much equity you have gained. One quick question. Did you make any notable improvements last year? Thanks. So I want you to pay very close attention to the language I'm using here. I'm going to be putting together an updated home value report. Now, what I'm saying in this particular case here is I'm not saying, do you want this thing? What I'm doing is, we all know how important trust is. We all know that trust is sort of the currency in which we deal. We all know that if a consumer trusts us, they like us, they respect us, and we add value, they'll do business with us again, and they'll refer us to their friends and family members, and they'll be an advocate for us on social media. What I'm doing here, guys, is I'm making a promise that I'm going to keep. I'm not asking for permission. I'm making a promise. I want you to write that down because this is something that you need to be doing in your email marketing to build trust to people who maybe aren't replying to your emails. Make a promise and then keep a promise. And that builds trust with the consumer in a way that you don't need them to maybe reply every single time that you send this email. So this email that I'm sending a week later after this email is a way for me to sort of clean up and re-engage anyone who's opened up that email. One of the things that we have to think about when we think about any email marketing strategies, we got to think long term. We can't be just thinking about this one and done tactic. These are strategies that you can reuse and repurpose over and over again. Okay, now here's that third email. Did you receive your home value report? So I sent the first email, what's your plan? The second email, one more thing. The third email is, did you receive your home value report? Again, it's that time of year. All my clients are asking, how's the market? I can summarize this in one word. It's terrific. It's essential for you to review your home value every 6 to 12 months. This will give you clear insight on how much equity you've gained and what's going on in the market. Just reply to this email and I'll get started ASAP. Now, keep this in mind. My boy Bob in Evergreen, Colorado, we sent this email for him and got him a listing within like 1 hour. So all we're simply trying to do is saying, hey, this thing, did you receive your home value report? We're not saying, do you want one in the subject line? We're saying, did you receive it? And why that's important is because now it becomes theirs. Now they own it. And when someone feels like they own something, now there's a sense of connection with you and what it is they have versus, do you want this thing? It's a really important kind of subtle, nuanced tactic, but when you can get someone to sort of wrap their head around something they own, then they're going to value that thing much more. Okay, so yeah, and Shalou, I'm going to get that right eventually. Shalou says, I love the assumptive close. You're absolutely right. That's what we're doing here. When we go back to this email here, I'm saying, I'm going to put it together for you. I'm closing you already in the email. I'm not asking your permission. I'm making a promise that I can keep. Okay, so the last email I have for you in terms of generating more listings, this is something that you can use on a weekly, bi-weekly, monthly basis. And this is one of my favorite strategies. Did you hear about 123 Main Street? So again, I'm using curiosity. I'm piquing their interest. And what I'm doing is, I don't care if this is your listing, guys. I don't care. I'm finding a notable sale in the market, in the area that I can use that is going to essentially put me in a position where I can talk about it, educate the consumer, and then, again, get them to basically raise their hand and see if they're interested. This property was on the market for 7 days, and it sold for I'll say in this case, this property was on the market for 2.5 years and it finally sold for a 30% discount. The interesting part of the story is how important properly pricing your home is when you decide to list. Again, I'm educating. As a realtor, we have access to the entire pricing history of every home in the market. When a home has been relisted multiple times with multiple price reductions, we know that our buyers have all the power in the negotiation. So what am I doing here? I'm establishing my expertise. Okay? Really important. I want you to invest in expertise, not cupcakes. Pricing your home properly matters. Here's a link to the article we've written about this topic on how to maximize the sale of your home by choosing the right price. I'll keep you posted on any noteworthy news. So what am I doing again here at the end? I'm making an assumptive close. I'm making a promise I can keep. Are you guys starting to wrap your head around this concept of how this actually how you can't automate this? Email marketing has a 40x ROI. If you think about the things that you can do to make the cash register ring right now, Chris likes to always say this. If you want a sale today, you don't post an ad, you send an email. And he's absolutely right. You can't automate this stuff. This is about being good at marketing. This is about what we coach all our clients at Curators. Get great at marketing and you generate more sales. You try to automate everything, good luck. Good luck standing out against other companies out there who are doing the exact same thing every single day and see how you differentiate from them. So just in closing here, these strategies are starting from the beginning. We'll get into the next one about more referrals. It's been too long. We're bridging that connection with the consumer. What's your plan? We're asking a question that can be easily answered to understand where are they at in the process. Then we're turning the corner here and asking them, hey, have you actually made any improvements to your home? So we're re-engaging with them again. And then we're asking, finally, did you get the thing that I promised I was going to send to you? And then this is going to be your ongoing way to use email marketing to generate more listings. I want you to compare and contrast this to the traditional way in which we market to get listings, which is, hey, home values are on the rise. Do you want your home value? Hey, home values on the rise. Do you want to sell? Hey, home values on the rise right now. You need a list right now or you're an idiot. Hey, home values on the rise right now. Mortgage rates are going up. You need to sell your home. Like, that's the message consumers are hearing. And when you guys start to look and feel the strategies in which we're using, you start to appreciate these have a much more authentic, real storytelling approach. And this is what great marketing looks like.